Do you feel overwhelmed by your story? Do you get so caught up in building your world that you never actually have time to write? Does your setting feel so big with so much to figure out that you can't even begin putting pen to paper? If so, you might have world builder's disease. So, what is world builder's disease? It's pretty much what it sounds like. It's what happens when writers get so caught up in building their story's world that they never actually get around to writing it. The term was originally coined by fantasy author Brandon Sanderson to describe a common problem for authors in that genre. World builder's disease happens for a few reasons. For one, world building, it's just fun. It feels productive. You're doing something, working on your setting, and that feels like progress. While writing, on the other hand, can feel really, really hard sometimes. You'd rather work on your world building because it's easier. And that makes it a form of procrastination, and procrastination often masks fear. If you're anxious about your ability to tell your story, world building gives you a way to work on it without ever having to confront your fear head on. And so you draw elaborate maps and take endless notes and never get around to actually putting pen to paper. If you're feeling called out right now, don't worry. Diagnosing an illness is the first step to curing it, and there are cures for world builder's disease. We're going to talk about those cures and how Scribble can help you overcome your fears and actually get writing. Cure number 1, remember that the world serves the story. As Brandon Sanderson says, the world is there to serve the story, not the other way around. Shift your focus away from your setting and back to your actual story. That shift will help you figure out what you actually need to build in order to tell the story you want to tell. For some writers, this reminder might be all they need, while for others it might be easier said than done. How do you actually do this? How do you know if the world building you're doing is actually serving the story or if it's just a distraction? After all, you'll need to do some world building, so where do you draw the line? That's where we get into cure number 2. Build the minimum viable world. You might be familiar with the idea of a minimum viable product. Now let me introduce you to the minimum viable world. This is the least amount of world building you can do while still having enough to start writing. I repeat, to start writing. There's a big difference between all the world building you'll need to do to produce a finished, publishable novel and the world building you need to do to begin writing the first draft. You honestly need a lot less than you probably think you will. Scribble's world building tools are designed to help you design a minimum viable world. Our Places tools capture the high-level details of your world, the history, geography, politics, culture, religion, magic system, and technology. That's it. So long as you can write at least a couple of sentences about each of these categories, you should have enough to get started. Unlike other world-building systems that might include many more categories and subtopics, Scribble keeps it simple, and that is on purpose. The goal is to help you reach a point where you have enough detail to begin writing, but not so much that you're still building when you should be drafting. The minimum viable world is not the complete picture. It provides just enough of a frame for you to stretch the canvas of your story over. You can fill in the rest later. Cure number 3, focus on the who. Another way to think about healthy world building is to shift your focus away from the setting to your character, from the where into the who. Spend some time getting to know your main character instead. Character makes your world building more targeted. You don't need to figure out everything, just enough to understand your hero, who they are, what they want, and where they come from. For example, if you're writing a fantasy novel and your main character is a witch, then you do need to define what a witch is in your universe. Are they born with powers or are they educated into them? Does their magic come from nature, emotion, chaos itself? Does society revere or fear witches? These are relevant world-building questions that are essential for understanding your main character and their motivations. Everything else can wait. Cure number 4, just start writing. If all else fails, just begin. Remember what causes world builder's disease in the first place, the fear of failure and uncertainty. If you can't get off the treadmill of developing your setting, you probably are just procrastinating. Recognize that for you, world building might be a form of resistance. The only way to really get through those feelings is to accept that your world is never going to feel 100% complete, and you're never gonna feel totally ready to start writing. You have to accept that discomfort, embrace it, and begin anyway. Writing is a process, a cyclical, iterative process of discovery. You're not going to know everything before you begin, and that is okay. Just accept the uncertainty and get started. And let us help you with that. Sign up for Scribble for free and use our tools to build your world and write your first draft. Check the link in the description below. Until next time, happy writing!